How's it going, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another Manchester United news daily show for you. Hope you're all having a good day. Hope you've all had a good Monday. Thank you for getting in here and waiting for me to get going. We're actually almost on time tonight. Get in there, my son. But I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for stopping by and getting in here for this video in the live chat. I could see Footy Talk. There's the Vootinator, Becky Hope. Who else? Footy Talk. Sorry, Footy Talk again. Giant Tabora, Berberspin 9, Maz Johnson, Jake Harold. We've got Kirsten Gray, Aaron Homeyard, Gung. She's in the gaff. Great to see you, Gungers. Kirsten Gray. Everyone else, thank you very much for getting in here and stopping by for tonight's show. So then, we're here to talk a little bit of Manchester United daily news. Of course, we've got a bunch of stuff to get into, but we might as well start it off with the hot topic of the day, which is, of course, Mr. Paul Pogba. Now, he's not come out and said anything directly right now. It's in response, basically, what we're going to be talking about is Didier Deschamps, of course, the French manager, has come out and said some stuff today in the press, which we're going to get into right now in terms of Paul Pogba. So we've got a little bit to get into and divulge. But please do smash that like on the video if you're just getting in here and get involved in the comment section here. I can see Kayam's getting in here. He says, hi everyone. How you going there, Kayam? Great to see you, lad. John Wayne's in the house. He says, all the good people are here. Good evening, Piggos. Get in there, John Wayne. Abbas Essie, how's it going, you melter? Griffo Chaz, evening to you, bro. Liam 11. Great to have you two in here too. Okay then, so let's get into it. So, Paul Pogba at Manchester United, let's be honest about his career really. It's been pretty tepid, I would say. I mean, it's kind of lackluster. If you actually look at his statistics though, he's kind of impressive in a way. I mean, he's got around about a goal and an assist per every other game. So what that means is he's getting a goal on roughly every 1 in 4, and he's getting an assist roughly every 1 in 4. Combine that together, you're getting a goal and an assist every other game in the Premier League for Paul Pogba. It's a little bit on the shit side, really. You know, since he's been in here, I personally don't think those are any stats worth really wanking about, to be honest. I think they're just pretty bang average stats. I think they're pretty bang average stats. I mean, for somebody who costs that much money and has that much influence in other teams that we've seen him in, to only have that sort of an impact, I think it's a little bit shite, to be honest with you. But some people will look at his statistics and say that statistically, Paul Pogba was actually very good for United. He is decent. So that's the word I would use. He's pretty good. That's about it. But the consistency is the problem with Paul Pogba at United anyway. But look, let's just get into Didier Deschamps' comments then. How's it going, Ali Burgess? Rush Mano's in the house. Great to see you, Rushy. We've got Shazib Khan. Hello, Shazib. Big God Bob. What's going on, Big God Bob? He says, United aren't happy with crappy Pogba at United. Point being, he's been shown the door and his ego and attitude can't deal with it. Very interesting. I mean, you're seeing a lack of games from him at the moment. There's only a couple of players that have played less than Paul Pogba, sort of main team players, one of them being Donny van de Beek right now. Is he going to be parting ways with United soon? That is a very good question you've brought up there, which we will get into in this video, everybody. So thank you for that, Big God Bob. So Didier Deschamps, of course, has come out, and we've had to listen to what Didier Deschamps has had to say. So he's following up comments after he was speaking with Paul Pogba during France camp this month. Didier Deschamps believes that Paul Pogba cannot be happy with his restricted playing time under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that being out of form and recovering from COVID-19 have not helped the United star. This is a quote directly from Didier Deschamps here, and he says, I know him well. This is him talking to France Football. He says, I know him well and he knows the group well. Deschamps said, he is in a situation with his club where he cannot be happy, neither with his playing time nor with his positioning. He is not in his best period. He has had a series of injuries and the COVID-19 which hit him quite hard. He needs to find his rhythm. So Deschamps said he'll be speaking to Paul Pogba during the break, and that he knows Pogba is not having his needs fulfilled on the pitch at Manchester United, where he's played on the left side of midfield at times. After playing in all 3 matches for France in October, Pogba started just 2 of United's 6 games since returning from October's international break. The 5-0 defeat of RB Leipzig in the Champions League and the 1-0 loss to Arsenal. So he's got 1 more year on his contract, which of course Manchester United, extending potentially. This is what Deschamps also had. He said he will tell me about his feelings as I know him very well. It will go in a positive direction, even if it also even if it is also up to him to make all of his efforts. So basically, you know, all it is, you can take what you want into that. Didier Deschamps has come out in the press and said that Paul Pogba can't be happy with his game time at the moment at United. He's not getting enough playing time. And also he can't be happy with his positioning at Manchester United. So sort of criticising Manchester United's use of Paul Pogba, which is something that a lot of people have said over the years. We all think maybe he would be better off being played in as the sort of Bruno Fernandes role in the team, maybe a bit further up the pitch, have more of a hand in creating. He's got the passing, he's got the power, he's got the shooting ability, etc. But we don't see him utilised in that position enough for United. That is one thing you could say. He has been used more of a box-to-box central midfielder for United over the years and done an okay job at times. But look, if I was Paul Pogba, I probably wouldn't be too happy with his time at United right now either. At the end of the day, everybody seems to hype Paul Pogba up to be one of the world's very best players. And he gets in all these World 11s and people still say he's one of the world's best, even though he doesn't do it consistently at all for Manchester United. People still like to say that he's one of the world's best. But in reality, he can't even get into United's side right now because he's just not good enough for United. Even though he's on 300k a week, even though he's a big name player, all this stuff. He can't do it for United consistently week to week, so we can't start him. He's making it easy for Solskjaer to not play him right now. I mean, there's other options in the team. You've got McTominay and Fred. They're both in better form than Pogba, to be fair. Certainly Fred is. Fred's been looking really good recently. Donny, we haven't seen enough from, man. We've got to be seeing more from Donny, so that's another competitor for Paul Pogba to potentially in that midfield. So from a Paul Pogba point of view, would I be happy with the game time I'm getting and the look of what United and what Solskjaer are trying to do right now in terms of him getting game time? I wouldn't be. And also, if you actually look at where United are, we're still quite far away from where we should be, which is challenging for all major honours, challenging for that Premier League title every single year. We are far away from that, guys. So if I'm Paul Pogba from a selfish point of view, which I think a lot of these footballers, I'm not saying Paul Pogba's more so than anybody these days, but he's certainly got a bullshit agent in Riola. He's certainly, you know, gone for big money. He's certainly thrown his toys out the pram in the past a couple of times and said things like, oh, he'd like to, you know, go look for an opportunity away at United, or say something like, oh, playing for Real Madrid's a dream move for any player, etc. All this stuff that he's come out and said in the past, you know, does indicate to me maybe he is one of those type of players, but I'm not saying that he is more so than anybody. I think that's just the way football is these days. They're all just trying to get more and more and more. And does he really have that affinity for United? I think he actually does like United more than the average player, to be fair, because he come through United earlier when he was a young lad. Fergie obviously didn't see the potential in him like some others did see. He went over to Juventus, he did some brilliant things, he established himself as a world star. Came back to United, he could have gone to some other clubs, I'm sure. We were prepared to pay the money, of course, that helps. And he was here and it was familiar, but he wanted to come back. So I'm not saying he doesn't love United, I just think that he's jaded, he's disenchanted, he's thinking, crikey, I could go over to PSG and play in their side and play in my home country and play week in, week out and win the league every single season and be in the Champions League every single season and win the domestic cup every single season. Or he can go to Real Madrid and slot in with that Zidane side and like challenge and win the La Liga regularly, challenge for Copa del Rey, challenge for Champions League. Or he could go to Juventus and win the Serie A every single year, play with Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, and he's got better options elsewhere. That's kind of what I'm saying right now. You know, so in one way, I don't blame Paul Pogba, but in another way, he's got to be professional and consistent and perform for United while he's here. But I do think it's one foot out the door for everybody here in terms of Paul Pogba at United. I think United are ready to cash in. I think the owners are looking at what he provides us out there on the pitch, and if there is a 60 to 80 million pound windfall to be had there, I think they'll take it. And I think Solskjaer, to be honest, he's maybe a little bit disenchanted with what Paul Pogba can bring to his team as well, because we just haven't seen enough from it consistently enough, and he might want to spend that 60 million pounds that he'll get back from the Glazers there on somebody else. Somebody like Upamecano, or Wilfred Ndidi, or Jaden Sancho, or somebody else, you know? So it makes the world of sense, really, for Manchester United to just cut their losses with Paul Pogba. I don't know if anybody would be interested in signing him in January. I don't know if it would be the end of the season. But I think United have just come to an end with Paul Pogba, really. As much as I keep saying, look, he could turn the corner on all this, I don't think he is going to turn the corner. If he does turn the corner, he'll probably do a 180 and go back around the corner and smash himself into the wall or something. You know, he doesn't do it consistently enough for Manchester United. So, yeah, I mean, Didier Deschamps, obviously he's got a point. He's not happy at United. He's not challenging for things. He's not even getting in the team consistently. the fan base is sort of split with Paul Pogba. Some people think he's the Messiah, and some people think he's absolutely garbage and doesn't offer United anything. And I'm sort of more in that camp, to be fair. Although he's got all the skills and possesses all the qualities you want from a midfielder, he doesn't put it out there on the pitch where it actually matters for United week in, week out. So what's the bloody point then of having this super prima donna, big-time Hollywood player? You might as well just cash in and go and get somebody else who's actually going to be consistent and battle you and fight your hearts out. Jack Greenish or somebody. You know, say what you want about Jack Greenish in terms of the characteristic, in terms of the attributes. Does Paul Pogba have better passing ability than Jack Greenish? I would have to say yes. Is he more physically powerful and stronger and that kind of thing? Yes. Is he got better intelligence and vision? Yes. But does he do it consistently enough? Does he battle it out there on the pitch with his heart on his sleeve and put a consistent shift in? And even if he doesn't play the best, play like full-blooded and play with pure passion and desire. Does he do that? No, he doesn't. Jack Greenish beats him on that front. In terms of leadership, he gets beaten. And these are some big characteristics. So I'm not criticising Paul Pogba as a footballer. Technically, he's brilliant. I think it's more so a psychological thing with Paul Pogba. It's more so a character thing with Paul Pogba. He just doesn't like the battle. He doesn't like to be in the heat of battle, you know, down there in the deep waters where you find out about yourself. He doesn't like that. He sort of shies away from those moments of leadership and stuff like that. So that's my own take on Paul Pogba. You know, as an individual off the pitch, I think he's a nice bloke. You know, this isn't a personal attack on Paul Pogba. I'm just saying, from a United point of view, we need to be looking at improving our team, and he doesn't offer us enough consistently. He just offers us gashness, to be fair. So yes, I'm a little bit disappointed and just meh with Paul Pogba, to be perfectly honest with you, about his time at United right now. But we'll get into it a little bit more, guys. I'm sorry, I've just been rambling there, haven't I? Let me get into the comment section to see who else we've got in here. Hey, we got a new member. It's Mikhail Kramer, lad. Get in there. I don't know if I think it's a renewal there. I think there's a couple of issues with people, membership getting sacked off randomly end of the last month. I don't know why. But Mikhail Kramer, great to have you back in here as the Baker Brigade joining the membership. Get in there, Mikhail. Hey, everybody, if you're just joining me, James Lindsay, Jacob, Roshmano, Berberspin9, Kota Worth, Tropic Chris, That Loyal Dutch, and everyone else, please do us a massive favour and smash that like button. There's just about 100 of you legends in here. Let's see if we can get 100 likes. Smash the thumbs up on the video. Give it a share on social media as well if you can. That would help us out massively on this channel. And thank you for joining us. So then, get in there, by the way, Mikhail Kramer. Get your favourite channel member emoji in there to welcome Mikhail Kramer to the posse once again. Legend. James Lindsay, Rushmano comments, it's actually worrying that Pogba is not pushing to get back in the team. What a great point this is, and it's more of a bit of an indicator of what Paul Pogba's character is actually like in terms of having a bit about him, having a bit of bollocks, having a bit of cojones, having a bit of guile. You know, I don't see much from that from Paul Pogba out there on the pitch or off it, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but you're right. It doesn't seem like he's really fighting that hard to get back into this team. So I think mentally, he's got one foot out the door. I think Solskjaer's thinking, you know, realistically, you know, if he's going to be here, that hopefully he can maybe get somebody else in that position in the future, or, you know, cash in and get someone else in a different position. But whatever, I don't think he's really valuing Paul Pogba like one of his key men. I think his key men are clearly Bruno Fernandes, Martial Rashford's clearly one of Solskjaer's key men, Wan-Bissaka. You know, there's some shoo-ins for the side that you have to put in there. Even Maguire gets selected all the time pretty much by Solskjaer, you know, when he's fit. So there's certain people that he likes. I don't think Paul Pogba is necessarily one of those. He's not relied on him recently. He's only played 2 of the last 6. And there's a very good reason for that, because you don't know what Paul Pogba's going to turn up. You know, the RB Leipzig game, you saw the best of him. He was brilliantly threaded that ball through. He created. He was dynamic. But then Solskjaer selected him in the very next game, and he was just absolutely garbage. And you can't do that. You can't have those inconsistencies from week to week. It's not good enough for a United player. So there you go. That's my opinion on Paul Pogba, lads. And I don't know what yours is. Let's have a little look and see what you guys think. Let's just have a little vote before we do that, actually. Actually, no, let's see what you guys think. So Mr. Miyagi comments, or maybe we bought Van der Beek to replace Pogba. That's a possibility as well. I know Van der Beek's not the most defensive-minded player, but he's decent defensively, and certainly, even from a creative point of view, I think he's more so to maybe be that foil for Bruno Fernandes as well. But yeah, maybe you might be right there. We've got competition in those places. We still got Matic, we still got McTominay, Fred. It would have been nice if Manchester United went out there in the summer and actually bought a proper defensive-minded midfielder, though. I mean, I'm looking at Arsenal with Thomas Partey. I'm thinking they got themselves a good player there. We could have done with that sort of a player. If we'd have invested, excuse me, if the Glazers were not complete meltbags, then there's a good possibility that we might have really strengthened this summer. But we didn't. Jason Dower comments, we've had so many midfielders that were not as physically or technically gifted as Pogba, like Fletcher or Park, but they both played every game like it was a cup final and always did their job. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Jason Dower. You're spot on. It's more about the character. It's more about the passion and the fire in the belly. It's not so much about the abilities. We've seen footballers come and go over the years with fantastic technical abilities, but they peter off after a couple of seasons. They don't have the mentality. They don't have the grit and the determination to stick it out. And to be fair, Paul Pogba's not that bad. You know, Paul Pogba's not that bad. We've seen him do some good stuff. It's not like he's a complete melter. He's actually a good player, and sometimes he does get stuck in, but it's not often enough. It's not consistent enough. He's not a Michael Carrick regular. He's not a Darren Fletcher regular who's going to turn up every single week for you and put in a really good shift. He's just too hit or miss, and that is why we need to get somebody else, and that's why he needs to go. Hey, thank you so much for the super chat here, Ollie In. Really appreciate it, man. Legend. He comments and he says, Pogba believes his own hype. He should be professional. Time to sell him. If anyone wants to pay, for the most part, he is average. Yes, I know, that's the thing. Is there any potential suitors for Paul Pogba right now? If you are Zidane at Real Madrid, would you want to go and spend the 60 or 70 million that it would take to get Pogba in? Maybe, because there's a commercial entity that comes along with Paul Pogba. It's not just the player on the pitch. Juventus, I think, would look to have him back, to be fair. In fact, out of all the teams that are interested or linked with Paul Pogba, there's a few: PSG, Real Madrid, Juventus being the key ones, really, the ones that could afford him, the ones that might want him for historical reasons or for whatever reason, national links and that sort of stuff. Out of all those sides, I think Juventus is the most likely, because he's already proven in Serie A. He knows he could go over there, win championships. They're a good team. They can compete in the Champions League. And they've had him there before, and they loved him there, and that's how he made his name to the point where United were prepared to spend £89 million on the lad. Is because of what he was doing at Juventus and being that match winner, that mercurial talent in the midfield, which unfortunately he's never been able to replicate for Manchester United on a consistent enough basis. So that's why I think he'll go over to Juventus. But whether or not they all would be prepared to spend the money, I think they would be more likely to spend it than anyone else, because they have spent a lot of money recently. Ronaldo's not going to be around a long time. If you think about that, I mean, I'm just licking my lips at the prospect of a little Pogba-Ronaldo swap deal, eh? How about that? I mean, that would be amazing. We all want Ronaldo back for a season or two, wouldn't we? So, but no, let's be realistic. But I still think Juventus is a good destination for him. Thank you so much for that, Ollie In. I think you're right, though. Pogba does believe his own hype. He has come out in the past and said he would like a new challenge. He has come out recently and talked about Real Madrid being a dream move and all that sort of stuff. I think he's done. I think he's done at United. What do you guys think? Have a little vote in the live chat, lads and lasses. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you think the end is near for Paul Pogba at Manchester United. Or smash someone else in the live chat if you think he's going to stay here and retire at United. Hey, the United way. John's in the gaff. How you doing, mate? He says Pogba's value is 72 million. You know, it's what is that on, like Transfer Market or something? I mean, that sounds about right to me. I personally think maybe a little bit less now, just with the whole pandemic and stuff like that. But yeah, he hasn't got too long left on his contract. That's also a factor. 60 to 72 million. Yeah, sounds about right to me, to be fair. I mean, what do you guys think? There's lots of ones coming in the live chat here. A lot of people thinking that Paul Pogba's time at United is pretty much done and dusted soon. But how much would you actually think we could generate for Paul Pogba? I think 60 million, yeah, 60 million is about right. 72 million, somewhere around there. He does have this big clout that comes along with him, being followed by 50 million people and being a darling of a nation. You know, he is literally a France hero, isn't he? He's a World Cup winner with France. It doesn't get much more heroic from a football point of view. I don't know how it is in France, but all I know is, growing up in England, in the UK, my dad used to tell me stories. It's all over the media. 1966 winners. Everyone knows all the players, and it's long before we've even been born. You know what I mean? So it's like a legendary thing. So I'm sure that there's kids growing up in France right now absolutely idolising Paul Pogba. You know, I know there is. And so that's what he brings to the table as well. He brings this sort of this big package with him. So, yeah, I mean, look, that does add to the value. That definitely does add to the value. And it's such like a Hollywood move. Maybe that adds to the value too. It's a big PR stunt. It's a big PR move. If Real Madrid stood there standing with the shirt next to Pogba and Real Madrid signed Pogba, it's a massive PR storm, isn't it? It's a massive PR dream for the club, really, to get all that press. And it's just massive. So, yeah, it does add a lot of value to the club and shirt sales and all that sort of stuff. So, like, Footy Talk says 55 million. I mean, yeah, you know what? I'm closer towards John's valuation now, actually, to be fair, because I do think there is just a little bit more of an entity with Paul Pogba. It's not just the player; it's also about the package, the branding, and all that sort of stuff. Griffo Chaz comments: Pogba has a big package. Okay, pigmate, dude, making certain assumptions there, dude. But to be fair, you know, maybe he does, but out there on the pitch, he doesn't play like he's got a big package. To be fair, does he? Let's be honest now, Griffo Chaz. He plays like he's just dipped into a very cold sea. That's what he plays like. You know, and we've all been in those moments when we've been down at the beach and it's chilly and you get into the water and it shrivels up like a couple of raisins and a twig. But that seems to be the sort of effect that happens out there when Paul Pogba pulls on a Manchester United shirt. He's fine in the blue shirt of France. He was fine in the black and white striped shirt of Juventus. But he doesn't seem fine in the red Manchester United shirt for some reason. It's like old man in the sea bollock syndrome every single time, mate. I hate to see it. I hate to see it, Griffo Chaz. But it happens, you know, with Paul Pogba, unfortunately, United. He shrivels up. That's not what I said anyway. I said as a package, he's got a large package. Oh no. It's a big, just carry on. Rushmano says we've hit 65 likes. Thank you so much, everyone. There's 120 of you guys tuning in this evening. Thanks for stopping by. Get your thoughts and opinions in about Paul Pogba before we move on to the next topic. And smash that like on the video if you're just stopping by and getting in here. Give it a share if you can. It all helps. Thank you, guys. Bernaldine, how's it going? Stephen Zevon, how you doing, matey? Vlogs with Mensley. He says, what midfielder can we get for 50 to 60 million? Well, it's not necessarily who you can get for 50 to 60 million. You might have to add a little bit more, but you can certainly put that 50 to 60 million towards somebody who's quality, such as Jack Greenish might be available for 60 million, maybe 70 million, but I'm sure he'd be available. Aston Villa won't be able to keep hold of a talent like that forever. And also, I'm pretty sure we could get Wilfred Ndidi if you added another 30 million or 40 million or whatever it would be, a ridiculous amount to get it. But when you're getting 60 million for Pogba, and it's just a case of spending 30 million to get Ndidi, who's going to be spot on for the next 7 or 8 years, I would say it's actually a really good investment. Whether or not you guys agree, I don't know. And whether or not the owners would even consider doing that is another big question, because they're a bunch of melts. Batman Night Van, hello matey. Kota Worth, what's crack-a-lacking? Talk MU says Pogba is a circus. Well, it is just a big... There's so much interest in Paul Pogba. It's a disappointment, unfortunately. You know, he's such a great player. And when he wants to be, or he's got all the abilities, but it doesn't translate out there too often. Hello, Pacer. How's it going? Beata Thompson in the house as well. He comments, well, I was against us buying him back from Juve, so it suits me fine. Get rid. He's been a complete waste of money. I mean, I can't really disagree with anything you've said there. When you actually consider the money that was spent on him and the impact he's had, he hasn't really lived up to that price tag at all. She Devils United, how are you doing? She's not mincing her words here. She comes in here with a bomb, dropping a bomb here. Pogba is a festering wound. Oh my goodness me. Well, we do call him Gash quite a lot of the time, so that's quite appropriate. Henry King says, I thought Pogba was class against PSG. Thing is, Pogba has had a couple of good games for us this season. The Leipzig game, you know, springs to mind, but he's just too damn inconsistent as always. Simon Bennett says, who was worse, Pogba or Veron? Well, look, Pogba's got him on the love and longevity front there, I think, but I think Veron was worse for United, but Pogba's got him on the longevity there. Because the thing is with Pogba, what's weird about Paul Pogba, because he's such this big entity, such this big name, and this reputation, and he's on big money, it's almost like the managers feel like they sort of have to play him repeatedly, even if he's out of form, even if he doesn't deserve to be playing based on form alone. They just stick him in there. It's almost like the Glazers are puppeteering from the top and just demanding that they put Paul Pogba in there for commercial purposes or something. I don't know. But that's another weird thing. He doesn't play well, but he still gets selected by pretty much all the managers that there has been at this football club, including Solskjaer. So it's very strange. Until recently, he's not played as much, and I think it's all justified because he hasn't looked up to the task. Stephen Bezic. Hello, Stephen Bezic. What's going on? He says, Pogba is melt-tastic, and the day he leaves will be the day I have a day off work, so I can have multiple mangasms in my front room. Hey, Stephen Bezic, at least you're doing it in the privacy of your own home, my son. Can't fault you on that one, mate. But Stephen Bezic, yeah, look, it's sort of sad to say that, but in a way there will be a sense of relief because it's almost like, well, United need to go out there and get that player then, don't we? Because we tried with Paul Pogba, we spent the money. It's not, you can't really fault the ambition of the football club. He was looking mint at Juventus. I know a couple of people said they didn't want him. He was at Juventus, but he was a match winner at Juventus. You can go and watch highlight reels of him at Juventus and watch him score stunning goals and influence games. And he was a character and a leader for them, it seemed. But he just hasn't been for Manchester United. So, yeah, I mean, look, we'll see. If he leaves, he leaves. If he dies, he dies. Who knows what that's from? Anyway, that sounds sinister, didn't it? If you don't know what that's from, then that's sinister. It's from Rocky IV. It's the Russian. It's Ivan Drago. If he dies, he dies. Mahmoud Alija, how's it going? Ryan Lynch says, sell him, get someone else in. Who would we get in then, guys? Who would be your man? Let's say you did get 60 or even 70 million pounds. Who would you go and sign with that money? You could put it towards somebody as well, like maybe Jaden Sancho, but who would you actually go and sign? Forget Jaden Sancho, actually. Let's just say, which midfielder to replace Paul Pogba would you go out there and actually sign with 70 million pounds right now? Who would you go and get? Ryan Lynch, thank you. Jake Harold says Pogba would be amazing with a midfield of Kante, Bruno, and... hang on a sec, where's your comment gone? Oh, I don't know what happened there. Anyway... Oh, Jake Harris been timed out. That's why it went. That's why it disappeared. What happened there? Anyway, let's have a look and see what you guys think. Shazad Ahmed says Ndidi. Jarvis Cocker says Sal Niguez. Yeah, that would be a good shout. Eduardo Camavinga footy talk. I like your pick there, you know. Good young player. Could be potentially the Paul Pogba that we were hoping for. He's touted it in the French media as being a next Paul Pogba. So, I don't know if that... Maybe that's not a good omen for Manchester United. Maybe we should sack them off, you know what I mean? And go with somebody else, like a Saul or somebody like that. Van der Beek says, Misty Miyaga, we've already got him here, don't we? So there you go. Maybe he is the man. She Devils United says Sal Niguez as well. So does Jarvis Cocker. The Vutinator says Greenish. Vlogs with Mensley. Comments Madison or Camavinga. Mate, it's interesting. Madison is still doing absolute bits, but for some reason... the links are just very weak at the moment between Manchester United and Madison. I guess it's because we know it's so difficult to get players from Leicester City. They're actually trying to do something at their football club. They don't want to sell their players. You know, they didn't want to sell Maguire. That's why we had to spend £80 million in order to convince them to sell him to us. So they don't want to sell their players. That's why Wilfred Ndidi is not being talked about as a potential for any other teams, really, even though we all want him, even though he's all class, because it's just not easy to go and get a player from Leicester. They're not a selling club right now. Even though they have sold players, they're not a club that's going to sell a player to you for anything less than an extortionate rate. So that's why we probably are not being heavily linked at all with him anymore. Ericsson says Pacer. Interesting. Yes, very interesting. Oh, okay, Kayam. Yeah, no spamming, Jake Harold, my friend. No spamming. We'll get round to all the comments. Sorry, I'm trying to talk, and sorry if I'm missing anybody out. But try not to spam anyway. But Kayam, was it repeated spam, or was it just the same comment every now and then? I don't know. Anyway, you're doing a great job, mods. Let's stick a love heart in there for the moderators. Ellie, how's it going, Ellie? She comments, hi, everyone. Just here to drop a like and say hello, watching a film. It's crap, but feel like I should finish it now. We are 45 minutes into it. What's the film, Ellie? And thank you very much for getting in here, you legend. Ndidi or Casemiro, says Rushmana. That'd be interesting, yeah. See, I think we're all pretty much agreed. With all your picks, really, we're looking for a midfielder who's capable of being a good defensive midfielder. It's a shame about the Thomas Partey lack of ambition from Manchester United because we could have probably gone and got him. Arsenal went and got him. Somebody like that would be brilliant. So I think we're all pretty much agreed that that's the sort of player we should be going to try and sign as a defensive midfielder to replace Paul Pogba. And also, remember, Nemanja Matic isn't going to be here forever. Fred's doing a good job right now. McTominay, I've got my reservations about. He's too inconsistent for me as well. Not to say he's not good, not to say he can't get that consistency. But he's not been very consistent this season. He's been great in a couple of games and pretty gash in another couple of games. So that consistency's lacking there with Scotty McTominay. AR Dan thinks Verratti. Michael Ackwell Collins says, oi oi piggy, how's it going, Michael? He comments, Ndidi or Camavinga. Now, in all honesty, I know I said, Camavinga's a bad omen. That's actually the player I'd really like to see, because I think he's young, very impressed with what I've seen from him so far. That goal he scored for France the other day was audacious. And I just think he's a good young talent. We should be looking to try and get some more of those sorts of players in. Is he ready-made and 100% to come in now and be that star man for us? I don't know. I mean, you'd probably be better off going to get some of the other players that we mentioned about. But certainly for the future, he could be immense. Nice one. Okay, yes, great stuff. Let's see what a few more of you think about the situation then. Makayu says, best mods on YouTube. Thank you so much. Yeah, I agree with you. A bunch of bloody legends. Taco LaBelle says, all or nothing, Manchester United 2021. Ian T comments, Leicester are building new £100 million training facility, mostly paid for by selling Slabhead. Exactly, Ian T. This is another thing, as you just brought it up, we might as well talk about it a little for a second. What a shit bit of ambition from our football club. All over the place, man. You know we got leeches at the top of this football club, man, because you see other teams improving their facilities, their stadia, and what are we doing? Just fanning around, painting over the cracks as usual. Sickening, man. We should be trying to progress and get better in every single department of this football club, on and off the pitch. But they don't do that. They're just trying to figure out more ways to leech money out of this bloody great football club. It's sickening, isn't it? Come on. Anyway, Francois Cock, how's it going? Jarvis Cocker, hello, my friend. He says, an upgrade for McTominay would be good for the team. McTominay's great, but not a regular starter. Yeah, I think he should always just be that backup, really, for us. I don't think he's going to be a regular starter. I know he has been recently, but I just think we've got pretty bang-average, lacklustre players in the centre of the park to choose from. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's like, oh, do I play Paul Pogba? He's just going to shit the bed 4 out of 5 games? Or, you know... He's not got really that many great players to choose from. He's still got Matic. He's still got, of course, Donny, which is ridiculous that we haven't seen more from Donny, actually. So forget what I said, because he could have chucked Donny in there instead of Pogba, instead of McTominay some of those games. But some of those games, it made sense to play McTominay and Fred in there for have that defensive mobility in there as well, like that PSG game. True Metal Kazma. How's it going? Comments, Pogba can leave whenever he pleases as far as I'm concerned. Me too. I do think he's just a little bit bang-averagely gash these days. Thank you, Rushmano. He comments, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, Rushmano. Yeah, if you are new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. Smash that like on the video as well. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes on the stream. And get your thoughts and opinions in about Paul Pogba. Thank you for that, Ellie. Have a cracking evening. Enjoy the rest of your movie. Sorry if I missed what movie it was. John Hanratty says, hi Pig, what's going on? It's going good, my friend. What's going on with you, dude? Vincent Bullock says, Old Trafford needs rebuilding. This is the thing. You've seen Spurs improve with state-of-the-art facilities recently. Arsenal built that Emirates Stadium a while ago. All of these stadiums are more high-tech and advanced than Old Trafford. Now, Old Trafford's a great stadium. Fergie oversaw, building of stands and the improvement of Old Trafford at the early part of his career and stuff. And United, but since then, really, United haven't really done anything with the facilities. Yes, we got a new training ground, of course, a few years back, but come on. It's really not that freaking great, is it? I don't think we've invested anywhere near what some of the other clubs, even clubs like City and teams like this have done recently over the years in terms of development. So it's a big shame that United are being left behind in those departments. We should be at the forefront of cutting-edge technology in terms of stadiums, in terms of just everything. But unfortunately, we're a little bit of we're stuck in the 90s in that way. We're stuck in the bloody 90s. Hey, Paul MBE Rashford, it's great to see you, my friend. What's going on? What's going on? Kirsten Gray says, how to fix Pogba at Manchester United. Change Manchester United to the French national team. Never going to happen. And Isco for new midfielder, I know. Oh, yeah, Isco is a good player, to be fair, yeah. I know, but I just love it. Oh, fair enough. Well, look, Isco, yeah, he's a good-looking dude, isn't he, to be fair? But no. I hear you, Kirsten Gray. Pogba at United, if we just started to play in the blue of the French national team, I think he'd step up. I think he'd start doing a lot better. But unfortunately, because it's a red kit, it's shite. Pacer says, I've heard there are leaks in the roof in Old Trafford. Yes, we saw it last season. There was videos of water coming through the gaps. Really quite piss poor what has happened to this football club. Eddie O2's in the gaff. How you doing there, Eddie? He says, wow, just tuned in. Why is Pogba headline again? This is too old that it's an extinct subject. Howdy, everyone. How's it going, Eddie O2? The reason, if you're just getting in here, everyone, let me give you the rundown then before we move on to the next topic. But if you're just getting in here, the reason why Paul Pogba is hot topic right now is because Didier Deschamps, the France manager, of course, who works closely with Paul Pogba during his international duties, come out in the media and whilst talking to France Football, he basically said that Pogba, he believes Pogba cannot be happy with his restricted playing time under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that being out of form and recovering from COVID-19 have not helped the player at all. He says, I know him very well and he knows the group well, Deschamps said. He is in a situation with his club where he cannot be happy, neither with his playing time nor with his positioning. He is not in his best period. He has had a series of injuries and the COVID-19 which has hit him quite hard. He needs to find a rhythm. He went on to say, he will tell me about his feelings and I know him very well. It will go in a positive direction, even if it is also up to him to make all his efforts. So, you know, the France manager coming out and saying this in the media that Pogba can't be happy with what position he's being played in at United. And of course, the current situation with not getting selected. He's only played 2 times in the last 6 games for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But it's justified, isn't it? He's gash. There's players that definitely deserve to be starting ahead of him. Donny van de Beek being one of them. We haven't seen enough from Donny. I'd rather have Donny put in a stinker out there than Paul Pogba, which is probably what you're going to get most of the time when you see Paul Pogba. That's why he's actually out of form and not being selected and out of favour at United. Because of his form, it's not good enough from Paul Pogba. So Didier Deschamps got a point. No, Pogba's not going to be happy with not getting selected. He's probably playing outside of his best position as well. We know he likes to be a bit further advanced. And he's not been playing in his ideal role for United ever, really. So Deschamps knows this. Deschamps knows him well. He's come out and said this. And look, it's nothing that we don't really think already. But it just sort of backs up the old, the whole sort of narrative at United that Paul Pogba has maybe got one foot out the door. A couple of months ago, not even that actually, he said that Real Madrid would be a dream move for him. A year ago, he said that he would look for a new adventure because his time at United is basically stagnating or something like that when he was in Japan. So there's always been this little inkling that Paul Pogba might be coming to an end of his United career. And certainly with his contract running down, it's going to happen sooner rather than later. United are not going to let him leave for a free in a year or so. And in terms of what we can get for him right now, if we want to cash in, we've got a year's contract extension, but if we want to cash in, we've got to do it soon. So I personally think Paul Pogba's more likely to leave come the end of the season, or maybe even in January, but probably end of the season, because I guess we need him right now, because we don't have anybody else unless we're prepared to get somebody else. I think his time at United is coming to an end anyway, guys. That's basically the rundown on Paul Pogba, why we're talking about Paul Pogba and why he's in the headlines today. Is because the France manager has simply said that Paul Pogba cannot be happy with his time at United, and it makes perfect sense. And as we said earlier on in the video as well, if you're Paul Pogba and you can go to PSG and challenge for trophies, or Juventus and challenge for trophies and be a star and have an easier ride and not be in a league that's maybe a little bit too competitive for you, or not competitive but not the right speed for you, whatever it is. Pogba was great over in Serie A but not so good in the Premier League. So whatever it is, he could go and be a star elsewhere. So I think all roads are leading to Paul Pogba leaving Manchester United sooner rather than later. What do you guys think about it? Smash a one in the live chat if you think Paul Pogba's on his way out the door. But Eddie O2, great to see you there, buddy. Hey Dero official 786, buongiorno as well. Devil's Reject says that's everyday shrinkage with UK winter. Absolutely. Ellie says racists and homophobes get absolute straight bans. Definitely anybody doing that on air will be get banned off straight away. Aaron, I hope you're doing well as well. Aaron, what's crack-a-lacking, my friend? Jensen Barnsley, what do we think, Pig, about Wednesday sacking? Sorry, I haven't seen that, mate. My bad. Mikhail June, what's going on? Pog bye, he says. Bye-bye, Paul Pogba. Yeah, definitely. Oh no, we definitely need warnings. Absolutely, yeah, definitely. People get warned. We got over this in the mod chat. Don't you worry about that, Jake Harrow. We got over this in the mod chat. Anyway, no worries, Eddie. There's the update for you, my friend. Okay, we'll get on to the rest of the news then, guys. We have got some other Manchester United news to get into. I don't want to just bore you to death with Paul Pogba stuff. Sid WS Andrew Afuni says, "Kiss me, pig." I won't do that, but I'll say hello to you, Sid. Thank you for getting in here. No worries, Eddie. Batman Knife, and I don't care about players nationally, as long as they're great for United. Exactly. Who cares what Paul Pogba did at Juventus? Who cares what he does for France? All I care about as well is what he does at United. I totally agree. Shazadama says, Gary Monk got sacked, Mr. P. Oh, shit, son. I've totally missed all that. Crikey. Jarvis Cocker says, we're all sick of Pogba. it'll come to the point where we're not even angry anymore. We just know that he'll never make it in a United jersey. Yeah, I think you might be right on that one. Kelly Clough, how's it going, Kelly? Great to see you, Kelly. Jake Howard says, kiss me pig, best comment yet. Devil's Reject says, Camavinga, he would be a great shout. Abbas Essie says, Pogba is bigger than United. I mean, that is just absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? There's no one player who's bigger than United. Abbas, you troll, mate. You've got to do better than that, mate. I mean, come on. But no, seriously, there's no way Pogba's bigger than United. Pogba's pretty damn bang average. I'd be surprised if there's a host of clubs lining up to sign Paul Pogba. Maybe if it's very cheap money, but if you've got to pay 70 mil, would you gamble that on Paul Pogba coming into your side and being a match-winning star? I don't know. I mean, he's pretty inconsistent for United. If you're basing it on the last few years, he's definitely not bigger than United anyway. Abbas says, I'm joking. I thought you were. That's what I mean. Troll, mate. Sean Cole says, I know Pogba's best position, another club. John Coles, yes, mate, you're right. Batman Night Fan ain't going to happen. Footy Talk says, Pig the Ravens won. Yes, woke up at 4 a.m. just to watch them. Nice, dude. I don't even know what that is. Aren't they a bunch of birds? But either way, thank you very much for getting in there. What was that, like some hawk race or something? A.R. Dan says, Sir Alec proves everyone he was right in the first place. Yeah, I mean, look, to be fair, though, I just want to say this about Paul Pogba and Sir Alex and this kind of stuff. I do think Sir Alex was right about Paul Pogba. Technically, it wasn't the issue. It's the character. And unfortunately, why did Paul Pogba leave United? I think it's because Sir Alex knew he wasn't going to get the game time. I don't think Paul Pogba was prepared to wait it out and prepared to fight his way into the team. And that's a character flaw in itself, that he didn't want to fight his way into that Manchester United team. Either way, Sir Alex got rid of him, right? He went on to prove himself and be a great player, which is why United signed him back. Sir Alex Ferguson, though, he wasn't completely devoid of making any errors in judgment, though. I mean, I actually saw an interview the other day, which I'd forgotten about entirely, where Alex Ferguson was talking about Phil Jones after a game. And he actually says these words, these exact words. Phil Jones has the potential to be the best ever player for Manchester United. Seriously, okay, yeah, you know, Sir Alex Ferguson's an absolute legend, but in terms of judgment, you know, he probably did get it a bit wrong with Paul Pogba, because Pogba went on to do amazing things at Juve and for the France national team. He's a World Cup winner, so you can't really say that he's not got what it takes to be a top footballer. But you can say he's not what it takes to be a great leader or a great character for United. I think that's what Fergie was looking for, and he didn't get that, and so that's why he got rid of him. Simple as that, really. But yeah, but yeah. Sir Alex did once say that Phil Jones has the potential to be the best ever United player. So. Exclusive says, what a way to set the bar high. I know, no pressure, Phil. No pressure. Just the greatest manager ever saying you've got the potential to be the greatest player ever for the club. No pressure, Phil Jones. That's probably why, you know, Phil Jones used to look like this before Alex Ferguson said that statement. And then after that statement, this is how Phil Jones looks. That's the difference. That's what happened after that statement was made. Phil Jones just went, what? And he just stayed there forever. Hey, we've almost hit 100 likes on the stream, everyone. There's about 150 of you guys tuning in. Smash that like button. We're going to get on to the next topic now. Aaron Homemail comments, Ollie in, Pogba out. Absolutely. I'm going to see... Backer. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Rancid. Okay. So let's get on to the next topic then, lads and lasses. We've done the Paul Pogba stuff then. That's the main... That's the main talking point of the day. But let's have a look at some of the other stuff that's going on here in terms of Manchester United. So, let's talk about this little piece of information which has come out. Metro reporting that Bruno Fernandes has been angered by Mason Greenwood's lazy performance in Manchester United training. So we know that Mason Greenwood's had, this could just be bullshit by the way, but we know that Mason Greenwood has had some disciplinary issues recently, to say the least. Whether it's being a top shagger in Iceland for England, or being late to training, and Solskjaer feeling the wrath of Solskjaer and not being selected as much. And he seems to be lacking a little bit in terms of professionalism at the moment. He is a very young lad, but he's got the greatest opportunity in front of him that you could possibly imagine. He's got the opportunity to be a world star at the greatest football club in the world, You know, to a lot of people, certainly to me, to you, most of you guys out there, United, you know, whether or not we're not top of the heap right now, is the greatest club in all the land. And Mason Greenwood's got the opportunity to be a club legend from start to finish of his career here. He has to keep his feet on the ground and he has to stay grounded. But look, he's been used as a late substitute in Turkey, and he was in the lineup to start against Everton. But he's left out of United's 18-man squad for the 3-1 win, against Everton. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he had an illness. So that was basically what was said. But we said a couple of weeks ago that Greenwood was having disciplinary issues at United, and that it was leaked from the inside out, that basically what it would be seen as from the media point of view would be put out by the club that he's ill. and actually what we're sort of seeing maybe is that behind the scenes, yeah, maybe there is some sort of a disciplinary concern there. But Bruno Fernandes is understood to have been annoyed after he was seen not running for a pass in training or something like that. I don't really know. I mean, this is some bullshit. Apparently Bruno's had a little bit of a go at Greenwood or some shit for Greenwood's lack of tenacity during training. So that's not a good sign, is it? I just wanted to talk about this topic very quickly. But, you know, Mason Greenwood, to me, he's a great young talent. He's got all the abilities in the future to be one of the best players in the world. He's already one of United's best players and most reliable players. If you look at his strike rate and what he does when he comes on, he's one of our most reliable players already. But he's got to keep his feet on the ground, man, and stop being a little bit of a big-time Billy Bollocks. Do you know what I mean? He's being a bit of a Billy Big Bollocks right now. It seems like for an 18-year-old lad, and hopefully he's going to stop being such a Billy Big Bollocks. Cravo257 says, you're my guy. Thank you, Cravo257, mate. Right back at you, dude. Kellan H says, hey, pig. How's it going, Kellan H? Roman Lawrence, no, they're not, bro. With a leak in roof, says Devil's Reject. Yeah, I know, it is. Yes, we are playing FIFA tonight, Francois Coq. So I'm just waiting for all the comments to catch up. They're not coming through very quick at the moment. Edward Reed says, I'm happy Greenwood is not in the England camp. He can work extra hard to get back into the team because I really rate this kid. True, man. Yeah, I mean, look, he's done himself a bit dirty there with England. If I was him, I'd be feeling very foolish that on my first international trip away with England, I have ended up getting my end away but getting myself out of the England team. I feel a bit stupid about that. Maybe he's like, yes, it was worth it, but I doubt it. I doubt it. I mean, he's not done himself any favours from an international point of view here, but you're kind of right in a way. He's not been selected by Southgate, so it means that Manchester United have the opportunity to work with him here and hopefully get him back on track and stop him being a little bit of a melter. Yeah, my back's still ruined, Taco LaBelle. Thanks for asking. It's absolutely mashed. Alu Jariji comments, let Deschamps tell Pogba to control his mouth and let his legs do the work in the field. Pogba is worse than electricity because 1 minute he is on fire and the next minute he is off. The Vutinator, yeah, we're going to get onto that this week, actually, mate. Now you mention it. Yeah, we're going to sort that out soon. We're going to have some call-ins and stuff like that soon on StreamYard, etc. So keep a look out for that. Dan Lake, what's going on, Dan? He comments and says, we can use Pogba money for a decent CDM. Absolutely agree with you. John Hanratty says, Greenwood sure respectful more. If I was in his shoes, I would be going to bed at 9 p.m. every single night. I agree with you, but you know what it's like being an 18-year-old with hormones and stuff like that. To be fair, yeah, I mean, it's probably just as well that he's not on international duty, isn't it? Because we don't want him to get weakened legs with all the top shagging that he would be doing out on international duty with the England side. Kano comments, I agree, though Pogba doesn't seem interested in United's spirit. He's too casual because he knows he's a top-class player. Yes, he does seem very nonchalant out there and just a little bit disappointing. Okay then, guys, let's talk about the rest of the United news. Sorry, there's a bunch of stuff to get into, actually. I'm just going to blast through it all. Brandon Williams, detailed United Academy journey. Of course, Brandon Williams given the opportunity by Solskjaer already last season. He's come through and he's developing quite nicely. And this is a quote from him. He told ManUnited.com, I went to the cliff when I was 7 and met everyone. Some of them are even my closest mates now. Some have stayed and some have gone, but I'm still really close with them. From then on, it's just been year by year, getting through each year and making sure I get a contract for each year. And then obviously getting to be the player I am now. My dad took me to my first game at Old Trafford and I just fell in love with it. From then on, I was just a mad United fan. I wasn't really happy when I went to the cliff because I was used to being in school and being the best player. But when I went there, I wasn't one of the best players, really. I was down there in the bottom group. Mason's always been there as one of the best players. James Garner, he was up there as well. there are a few players who are not here as well now. I was jealous at the time because they were skillful and everything. I think that's why I went further back, because I was a striker. But now I'm a defender. So Brandon Williams originally a striker, and he just found out quickly when he went to the cliff, and when he used to train with the youth players, that he was obviously not quite as technically gifted as somebody like a Mason Greenwood, who's obviously incredible with both feet and just a ridiculous young talent. So it's just more praise for players like Mason Greenwood and James Garner here from Brandon Williams. Just goes to show you the qualities that everybody thinks that Mason Greenwood possesses. You know, he is just a ridiculous talent, whether it's having the vision, whether it's having the ability with both feet, just that natural finishing ability. Everybody praises Mason Greenwood in the same way. He's got all those attributes that make you think he's going to be one of the world's best. And just thought that was pretty nice from Brandon Williams there. Brandon's obviously done well himself. He's come back into a wing-back role. Okay then, lads and lasses, let's get into the transfer news then, lads and lasses. There's a bit of transfer stuff to go over and talk about right now. Do us a favour, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and get your thoughts and opinions in about anything that we're discussing in this video, and get involved with this legendary community of legends as well. Okay then, so it's been reported that United failed in a £45 million transfer bid for Bayer Leverkusen's winger Moussa Diaby on deadline day. So it's been reported that we made a move of 45 million, but it failed. The club made 4 last-ditch recruitments just before the transfer window shut, but it would have been 5 if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the side's transfer chiefs had it their way. So that's what's been reported anyway by a few major outlets. We did try and get Jaden Sancho, of course, for a long time, which was just a complete nightmare and a complete saga which drawn out all summer long. And we went and signed Pellistri, who's a young lad that came in. We signed Diallo from Atalanta, who's joining us in January. But it's understood we tried to sign this guy for £45 million, and it failed. So just goes to show you how shit our football club are really in terms of bringing players in, and the panic buying we were trying to do. We couldn't get the deal done with Dortmund because we weren't prepared to spend the money. And so we just panic bought these players on the last day of the season. It's a joke, really. But actually, speaking of Jaden Sancho, I want to just talk about Jaden Sancho really quick, because he's been a pretty shit this season. I don't know if you guys have seen. Now, it's probably not going to help him that he was linked with that big move away from Manchester United and it never materialised. That's probably not going to help him at all. But he's been pretty bad this season, and Borussia Dortmund chief Michael Zorc has voiced his concerns over Jaden Sancho's fitness following the summer's long run-in transfer saga with Manchester United. United didn't get the deal done for Jaden Sancho before the window closed. There's still speculation linking him to a move to United at some point in the future. It was understood that they wanted 120 million euros, or about 108 million pounds, for Jaden Sancho at the time. We opted to not do that. We opted to get Cavani instead, and a couple of young lads in instead. Facundo Pellistri and Diallo, and Cavani, of course, in terms of a short-term deal. That's what we opted for instead. So it was a lack of ambition by Manchester United, and it's understood that Solskjaer had Jaden Sancho as his #1 priority target that summer and didn't get him. And he's also understood to have been in contact with Jaden Sancho and made it pretty clear that, you know, that's what they wanted to happen in this summer. And Sancho, he wasn't being played for Dortmund towards the end of the window, was he? Because he had an illness. So it all looked like it was possibly going to happen. And now Jaden Sancho sort of been left with egg on his face. He's in a difficult situation. So I think that's probably somewhat down to the reasons why he's got such bad form at the moment. But he didn't really force the move away, you know, behind the scenes maybe so. But the fact is, he's not started this campaign very well over in Germany at all. He's failed to score in 6 league appearances, and he disappointed in his side's 3-2 defeat to title rivals Bayern Munich at the weekend. And this is what Michael Zorc came out and said afterwards. He said he has to do better and have more efficient games, he told German media outlet Ruhr Nachrichten. He says he's lacking a bit of natural lightness at the moment. Of course, we speak to him, but it's not something you can rediscover just by talking. So, you know, that's it. He's literally just himself saying that Jaden Sancho's having a little bit of a shitter there and he's got to do better. So what do you guys think about Jaden Sancho right now? Is he still your man? I don't think that this tiny little blip in form says anything about his future. He's 20 years of age. He's been absolutely insane. I think he's just out of sorts. He's jaded. Jaden Sancho is jaded. He's Jaden Sancho right now. Yeah, I miss Rooney, to be fair, vlogs of immensely. Hey guys, so what do you guys think? Do you still want Jaden Sancho? Yes or no? I just want to ask you that now. Or do you think the money could be better spent elsewhere? Because, it's a lot of money, to be fair. Sorry, guys, got a little bit of a cold. But yes, the Vutinator says yes. Rushmano says yes. ZX Sizen says, is there a FIFA stream today? Yes, there is. James Lindsay says, why is no one at Man United coming out and saying that about Pogba? True. It's a good point, mate. It's a good point. We roll a little bit differently. We try to protect our assets, I guess, if we're trying to sell them. All that would do, I guess, though, is maybe just hurt you a little bit in terms of the asset or the amount of money that you could get for him if you're sort of promoting the fact that he's in shit form. It's not great, is it? Mikhail Kramer says, I must be only United fan that don't want him. Yeah, fair play. I mean, there's lots of. I think there's a few other people that don't want him, but I think the majority definitely do want Jaden Sancho, as we can see by these votes here. A lot of people saying yes. I mean, look, he's obviously a great player, and his statistics are ridiculous. But he's not had a good start to the season over there. I still expect United to go and get him at some point, though. I don't know if it'll be when Pogba departs or whatnot, but I still expect us to go and get him because he's got a couple of years left on his contract. His value will be diminishing by the day, really. Certainly in January, Borussia Dortmund could get big money for him still, but in the summer, his valuation is going to be much lower because of the fact that we only have a year left on his contract. So Dortmund are going to be looking to sell soon. Whether or not United are going to be one of the teams that's lining up to get him is another question because he is a lot of money. And if another team wants to come in, which to be fair, they might. I mean, I look at teams like even Chelsea. I know they spent a ridiculous amount of money. That's probably the only reason they didn't go in for Sancho because they just spent a shit ton of money elsewhere and the value wasn't quite there for Sancho at the time. But certainly, I would imagine some of the top clubs around Europe in a year's time would be pretty keen on bringing Jaden Sancho in if his valuation is lower, which it will be by then because his contract's going down. So I still hope United go and get him personally, but it's another question as to not whether or not they will. So Jaden Sancho, lads and lasses, who knows about that? I mean, it's just interesting to see Michael Zorc come out and say that he's having a bit of a stinker at the moment. And I think it probably is something to do with that whole United pursuit in the summer that's got something to do with it mentally for Jaden Sancho right now. He just doesn't want to be there anymore. He thought he was going to be playing in the red of Manchester United right now. Instead, he's wearing that shitty yellow kit. You know what I mean? That one that looks like a bloody permanent marker at school. You know what I mean? Anyway, a little bit more news here. United are monitoring Juve defender Merih Demiral for 30 million euros. The Italian champions do not want to sell. They believe the Turkish international is the future of the club. It's understood United are monitoring, aka Monitor FC, Monitor United FC, are monitoring defender Merih Demiral. So there's just a little bit of transfer news for you. Also in regards to Dean Henderson, it's also being talked about now. Manchester Evening News reporting that United are considering allowing Dean Henderson to leave on loan in the January transfer window, according to reports. 23-year-old returned to Old Trafford following a 2-year spell with Sheffield United this summer in order to challenge David De Gea for the number 1 jersey. So it's understood that maybe they will let him go out on loan for the remainder of the season. David De Gea, to be fair to him, has started pretty damn well. There's talks about Sergio Romero wanting to leave on a free transfer now. So Sergio Romero has asked to leave Manchester United for free in the January transfer window. We're understood Everton wanted to sign him last day of the window. We wanted a little bit more money. We weren't prepared to let him go for a couple of million. And Sergio Romero and his family were very, very annoyed about that because he's done a lot for us. And if he's going to be third choice keeper and not play any games, he don't want to do that. He wants to go and play for a big club, but play second fiddle or whatnot, but still get games. Fair enough. You can't really fault the lad for that. But if Dean Henderson was to go out on loan again to another football club for however long for the rest of the season, then that leaves Sergio Romero there to fight for that place again and have that place as being the backup. And in some ways it makes sense, guys, because David De Gea is looking good. I know it's good to have Dean Henderson there, and maybe that's the reason why you're seeing David De Gea so focused and putting in good performances is because he's got that fire under his belly again because Dean Henderson's challenging him. But at the same time, we're only stopping Dean Henderson's development here. Dean Henderson should be getting games. He's a good goalkeeper. You've seen him last year for Sheffield United have a great season. A better season, really, for Sheffield United than David De Gea for Manchester United. So, to be fair to him, it's only hindering him not getting regular game time. And I know he's going to play in the odd game here and there, but he's not going to get the same level of experience that he would get playing for a lesser Premier League team. It's one of the best. Playing for one of the lesser Premier League teams is the best experience a goalkeeper can get. If you're playing for West Brom or something right now, you're getting peppered. You're getting peppered non-stop. You're getting peppered. And so that's great. That's a baptism of fire. It's great training. And so I think we're missing a trick, really, by having Dean Henderson sitting around. That's what I think. What do you guys think, guys? Would you loan Dean Henderson out right now? Or would you, I don't know, give him the number 1 spot? Or would you just keep him but let him be number 2? What do you guys think? Would you actually loan him out right now? I personally would. Gaz Elliott says, are you all out yet? Absolutely bloody not, my friend. I've already said I'm pretty much going to give him until the end of the season. Okay, fair enough. If after about 20 games or whatever, we're down in 15th place or whatever, then okay. You have to take a look in the mirror and say he's having a shit house mare. But until that moment comes, I'm going to keep my faith and belief in the lad. Saint Fusion, it says, yo, Pig, it's been a while. How have you been? Yeah, not too bad, man. Thank you very much for asking, dude. How are you doing, Saint Fusion? Great to see you. Great to see you. Jordan Griswold says, yes, I agree, Pig. He should be loaned out. Loan him out, says Vincent Bullock. I'd probably loan him out, says Edward Reed. Jonathan Gallis says, no, I'd keep Dean Henderson. Fair play. Yeah, I mean, keeping him gives De Gea competition. And if De Gea got injured or suspended or anything, you've got a really great keeper to go in there. But remember, we've got Sergio Romero. And we've done Sergio Romero a bit dirty. And Dean Henderson's a great keeper, but he's almost too good to be back up and not play any games right now. Whereas Sergio Romero is quite happy playing that backup role for us. So, you know, Batman Night Fan says, Romero has been great every time he's played. A great professional, never complains. Absolutely, I've got no issues with him whatsoever. And we have done him pretty dirty. GGMUFC for life says, Ollie in, let's judge after Christmas. Good shout, my friend. I like that. That's a good level head. I mean, this is the funny thing, guys. People are saying Ollie out and all this business. Pep Guardiola's 2 points ahead of Ollie in the league. Nobody's saying the same shit about Baldy Pep. You know what else is funny? United have a game in hand on the teams at the top of the table. The teams at the top of the table are on 18 points. United are on 10 points. If we win our game in hand, we're 5 points off of first place with the same amount of games played. Is that really panic stations right now? Not really. Have you seen the fixtures that we've had over the last month? It's not been easy. Now, I know we've had some bad results, but it's not been easy. So for me, Solskjaer's done not a great job this season, but he's certainly not done a sackable job. He's not done a job that requires being sacked. Ryan Evans says, it's a no-brainer. Loan. If you don't use it, you lose it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's got to be out there flexing those muscles, mate. You know what I'm saying? Nick Achilleos says, Henderson is better than De Gea. He has mistakes in him. Yeah, De Gea does have mistakes in him, but I don't know if he is better than De Gea, because De Gea is way more experienced. De Gea has been our best player for the last decade, really. So we're talking about De Gea over a course of 18-month period in his career, which was bad. But actually, over the course of a 10-year period, his goalkeeping is one of the best in the world. So it's hopefully back a case of him getting back into form now. Rushmano with a super sticker of £10. Thank you so much, Rushmano, you bloody Don. Really appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much for showing your support. It is a hippopotamus turning his hat backwards. Thank you so much for that, Rushmano, man. Can we get a love heart in there for Rushmano? What a top lad. Really appreciate you. Hey, Gungshi. How you doing there, Gungshinator? Great to see you, lad. He comments and says, I feel bad for Romero. He's been loyal and patient at United. Very much so, yes. He's always been that dependable number 2 to call on to come in and do the job. And he's always done the job very well for us whenever we've seen him. I've never really criticised Sergio Romero. There might be one mistake in his whole time that I can really remember. Other than that, he's been damn solid for us and never really put a foot wrong and always professional, always coming in there and doing a good committed job. So I've always got nothing but love for him as well, Gungshi, to be fair. And I think we have kind of done him dirty there. We should have allowed him a move in the summer if we weren't going to play him. Or what we're talking about now into the season, it's more examples of piss poor planning by United and the board and everyone and the coaching staff and everybody, to be fair. What we should do really is loan him out and still use Sergio Romero as that backup for this season, man. You know, Romero was happy doing that role for us. He was good for us and dependable. So if Dean Henderson did go out on loan, it only really allows the opportunity for Romero just to be happy and content and stay at United and still be that professional for us. Once his future is sorted out, or his short-term future, he'll be happy enough. Andrikos says, David De Gea. Wait a sec. Andrikos, where's your comment gone, bro? Andrikos says, David De Gea just needs a defence he can believe in again. That's a good point, man. It can't be very nice when you just sat behind Harry Maguire and Victor Dwindloff, can it? I mean, bloody hell. Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. You know what I mean? You've got that literal slab of a rock of Harry Maguire and then, like, I don't know, some, like, Swedish flat pack furniture or something there. Like, it's just shit. Batman says Romero did one mistake. It was against Norwich. Well, there you go then. You see, that's the mistake I'm talking about in his whole time. That's not bad, is it? Especially when we saw about 10 by David De Gea last season. Josh Gordon says, do you think we should sell De Gea now when he is on form so we can get money for him or not? I still say no with De Gea selling him. I still say no. I still think he's been a great servant for United over the years. And he loves United. I think he loves United. He's had opportunities to leave in the past. I think he loves United, really. He had another child the other day, by the way. Congratulations to David De Gea. Or, no, did he have another child, or was he just announcing that his wife's pregnant again? I forget. Sorry, I've got a shit memory, but one of the two. And he said, oh, another Red Devil on the way, or something like that. Or maybe another Red Devil is with us, or something. I can't remember what it was now. I just saw it glancing at it. But anyway, you know what I mean? He loves United. Eddie O2 says, glory, glory, Man United. I agree that United are wasting 100 G's on Henderson, though, but I like the backup. He should be paid less. Yeah, it's a lot of money, isn't it? A lot of money. 120k a week, isn't it? But it's a lot of money to be paying a backup goalkeeper who's not going to get game time. He could be that quality player for us to replace David De Gea long term, though. So it's a good player to have around and challenge, but he's on a lot of money. It doesn't really make sense. If we can load him out and save some of that money as well, that also does make more sense. Vincent Bullock says, let's Lee Grant go. What's that about? Nicky Kilios, Pig, you was online for over 8 hours last night, mate. I know. What the hell was I doing yesterday? That was an absolute calamity. Brendy B, how's it going, Brendy B? Great to see you. Hey, guys, smash that like on the video. Let's see if we can get 150 likes on the stream tonight. There's over 150 of you guys tuning in. I'm going to stick around for about... How long have we been going? Crikey, we've already been going over an hour. Where does that time go? But we've been going over an hour. I'll stick around for about 5 more minutes or so. I am doing a FIFA stream later. I'll be back on the channel in about an hour and 20 minutes. About 11:30, we'll be getting underway with a FIFA stream, which we're doing most nights, late night, FIFA action. So get involved. But certainly, smash the like on this video and have your say. Finally, for the last 5 minutes, we'll get into it. Oh, shit. Got a bit of a bad chest on me today. Matthew Wilkovich says, who would you rather play, Shaw or Tellez? At the moment, it's got to be Tellez. I was really impressed with him in that PSG game. Statistically, at Porto, he's insane. Luke Shaw's good, but not great. And he's inconsistent as well, in my opinion. He's been more consistent over the last year or so than he has before, but he's still not a top-class player in my book. Who needs to get banned? Sorry, who got banned? Ado Ali says you should have warned him and then banned. Sorry, we'll talk about this after the mod chat, and I'll look into it. And if somebody deserves to be unbanned, they'll be unbanned. But obviously, we're not going to stop the show and unban somebody right now. That would just be preposterous. MUSC says, Pig, I need to contact you on Twitter regarding Jonathan. Go for it, mate. Go for it. Go for it. Becky Hope says, Clam J says, Paul Pogba can choke on hammer. You what? Anyway, the Vutinator says, Jonathan Gallagher, back at your ledge. Nice one, Johnny Gallagher. Gunshi says, can we all be calm, please? I'm the only one around here who bans people, and I do it in my sleep. Space in your face comments, Pig, I've just started a new FIFA career, but I've created my own player, and I'm just playing as him at right wing for United. It's pretty dope, aren't we? That sounds pretty cool, actually, Space in your face. Nice. Oh, okay, he's not banned, he's timed out. That's fine. Devil's Reject says, maybe he down tools because they priced him out of a move. The United Way says, sorry, Pig, forgot to like the vid. Just in bed chilling. Comfy Pig on the telly. Legend, the United Way. Thank you so much for getting in here. And yes, do smash that like if you have not done so, Lantern Lasses. Thank you, dude. Tony Richway says, just imagine Sancho putting a cross in for Cavani. You know it. Jarvis Cocker says, Dean Henderson has saved 50% of penalties he has faced in senior club football, or 5 from 10. At all levels, including under 21 internationals. He's saved 7 of 15, or 47%. That's a pretty damn good record, isn't it? Kayam says no one was banned, just timed out. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Alfie MUFC says, your agenda against Pogba and Shaw is ridiculous. Shaw's been our best player this season, and you constantly picking him, calling him fat, etc. You're in your 30s. Grow up, for fuck's sake. Well, you've got a point, Alfie MUFC, but actually what you said about Shaw being one of our most consistent players, that is just not true at all, mate. He's been pretty bang average, really, over his time at the club. I mean, look, don't ask me. Ask everybody else. Give Luke Shaw a rating out of 10 for his time at Manchester United so far. And you know what? That rating will be skewed over the last year and what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done with him. Because remember what Luke Shaw, how shit he was when Jose Mourinho was at the club. I mean, you can blame that on the manager or whatever, but he was damn inconsistent. He had a good spell before he broke his leg, of course. You know, he has that injury issue to come back from. But no. And Pogba agenda, I mean, God, I tell you what, I do have an agenda against Paul Pogba. This is the agenda. He's shit for Manchester United, and so I don't want him to play for us. If that's an agenda, then yeah, I guess I do have an agenda. Because he's not good enough for us, mate. If you want Paul Pogba every single week, then more for you for putting up with mediocrity on the pitch. So that's what you get from Paul Pogba, bro. Here we go, look. So 5 out of 10 from Jonathan Gallagher, 6 out of 10 from Pacer, 5 from the Vutilator, 6 from YYY. John Coles with a 3, Tony Richwood with a 7, Batman Nightfan with a 7, 6 for Shazad, 6 for Gungshi, 5 for AR Dan, 4 for Papa Stores, 6 for ENT, 8 for Becky Hope, 10 for Gareth Martin, 5 for Edward Reed. I would give him, personally, I'd give him a 6. I'd probably give him a 6. That's good. A 6 out of 10 over his career at United is good. But he's not one of our most consistent, dependable players. That's just ridiculous to say. That is ridiculous to say. And this season, mate, if you think he's been consistently good this season alone, you're totally wrong, man. I mean, that game against, freaking was it, the first game of the season, that wasn't really his fault, but he scored an OG. That wasn't his fault, though. And then also, he had that absolute stinker against, was it freaking Tottenham? Guys, I can't even remember, but I've got a really bad memory. But there's 3 or 4 games this season. He's already had a gash game in. But that's the beauty of football. That's the beauty of opinions. They're like arseholes. Everyone's got one. Okay, then. Let's get on with this, then. Becky Hope says, Gungshi, that's fine. No need to apologise, my friend. Vlogs of Many says, let's get him Didi. Pogba spent 4 years. 4 years, he can kiss my ass. Alfie says he struggled with injury and mental health and bullying from Jose. Considering the circumstances, he's been excellent. Pogba is our best player apart from Bruno. To be fair, Alfie, fair enough. You've had your say. I'm just going to tell you now, I totally disagree with you, my friend. I think you sound deluded. If you think Pogba is our best player apart from Bruno, that's delusional, my friend. He's absolutely nowhere near our best player apart from Bruno. There's loads of players that are better than him and do it more consistently for United. How's about Aaron Wan-Bissaka's consistency for United? How about Mason Greenwood as a young lad taking up and stepping up and delivering and being more of a leader out there on the pitch than Paul Pogba? How about Martial? How about Rashford? These guys. Rashford's certainly a bigger player, bigger game player than Paul Pogba for us. So I disagree with you. Fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion. I appreciate you commenting, though. And watching. You know, don't hate. It's just a disagreement. That's all. Anyway, Fred is another great example from G-Wolf there. You see, everyone will say Fred's bang average, but Fred offers Manchester United more than Paul Pogba does. Certainly this season he has. And last season he did too. Batman Nightfan says Fred's better than Pogba. Andrikos says Fred has been better for United. You see, it's not just me that thinks the same way. Yeah, you're right. Nick Achilles says Bruno is the best player, followed by Rashford and Martial. I'd say you're probably right, yeah. ZX says Pogba is a baller. You're right. Paul Pogba is an absolute baller about 25% of the time. Okay, then, Gungshi, you know I love Pogba, really. Decorated Hero says need to see more of Van der Beek in the team. Fully agree with that. John Cole says Pogba's the other team's best player. Generous with them pens. Yeah, given 3 penalties away this season as Paul Pogba. Remember that. Edward Reed says Fred is essential to our team. Totally agree. G-Wall says even Matic has been better than Pogba, and that's saying something. Certainly last season, Matic and Fred were both more consistent than Paul Pogba. Becky Hope, I hope you feel better. I really do. Can we just do something really nice, actually? Can we just stick a love heart in the live chat for Gungshi and for Becky Hope and for anybody who's struggling with a bit of pain right now? Because these guys are absolute legends in this channel, and we just want to show our support for these legends who are, you know, having a bit of pain at the moment, and we want them to feel better. So let's take their minds off it by giving them some love. Mikhail Kramer, Francois Cox says, our best player the last 6 years is David De Gea. Totally agree. You're spot on. Minus the last 18 months. But yes, before that, definitely. And over the course of the last 6 years, absolutely. True Metal Casma says, Lingard is better than Pogba. Pacer says Fred is a bit like Carrick. Well, he flies under the radar a bit like Carrick, doesn't he? He doesn't get the respect like he should. I think you're right in that sense. Okay then, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this video up now, but please smash that thumbs up button on the video if you have not done so. And also, I try to respond to all you legends. I've got to do a FIFA stream in a bit, though, and I've got to eat some food and stuff like that in between. I'll be back at 11:30 tonight, UK time, in about an hour and 15 minutes with a FIFA stream, so come back for that. You can go over to that video now. Actually, it's already scheduled, and you can smash the like on that FIFA stream, and you can also set the reminder on it as well, so you don't miss it. But we'll be back about 11:30 with the FIFA, so get involved with that. Please do us a massive favour and subscribe to this channel if you're new to the channel as well. We do daily Manchester United news videos and a bit of FIFA Manchester United Road to Glory later on. So get involved with the channel. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com. Oh my goodness me, I've got an absolute melting chest at the moment, guys. It's melting. Yeah, smash that on there. Smash the subscribe and get involved. Come back after this vid finish. Have your say in the comment section about anything we've discussed in the live show today, about Paul Pogba, about anything really. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on what we've discussed. But thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a cracking evening. I've got to get the post-match credits sorted out, don't I? I haven't sorted them out, so there's still a bunch of people that have not been added to it. I've been doing it differently, but I don't have that page thing set up to be able to read all the names out. So just want to say thank you to all the channel members, though, that support this channel. Shout out to all the Bacon Brigadiers out there, channel members and non-channel members, and anyone else who just gets involved. Abbas, Essie, Ryan Evans, Liam, Gungshi, you have a great evening, my friend. He says, thank the gods for the opium poppy, is all I can say. Jonathan Gallagher, Eddie O2, thank you Eddie O2, have a good evening, man, appreciate you. Mikhail Kramer, Kayam, have a cracking evening, dude. Dizzy Red Devil, Ziek, Gungshi, Vlogs with Mentally, The Vootinator, Shazad Ahmed, Eddie O2, DJ Disco Dave, Eddie A, Dan Lake, and all the bloody rest of you legends. Thank you so much for watching. Take it easy, stay classy, like, subscribe, comment. The United Way, Aaron Bainbridge, Eddie A, Ryan Evans, AR Dan, Bubbaspin9, Talk MU, Batman Night Fan, and every single one of you, the Pig loves you all. G-Wolf United, Johnny Gallagher, heroes among us. See you soon. This is the Pig. Take it easy. I'll be back tomorrow with some United news and in about an hour's time for some FIFA action.